immigrant here. I think it's dangerous to have open borders, right? But I don't think we should stop any immigrant from coming if they meet the criteria, meaning they should make sure they're just not a violent criminal where they come from. You put 10 years in, you become a citizen. My cousin wanted to become a citizen. Right now, she's on a Navy ship. She gave 3 years of her life to the U.S. Navy to become a citizen. So she gave something to get it, you know?
Yeah, a lot of people do that.
Yeah, I'm not saying, listen, I get it, and I think it's hypocritical for Americans to feel any anger towards these people. I understand the violent element. I understand the criminal element. I get that, and they should be screened, and we should know who's here. But I also think that this was the land of opportunity, and everyone's ancestor here was somebody somewhere else first. So we got to be fair to those people too. And let's be real, you live here too. Without immigrants, this country would collapse. We need them.
You know, I've only lived in the U.S. now for 6 years.
Do you think Americans want to do these jobs? They don't. It's like, so to me, don't group these old people like they're all bad. They're not. The overwhelming majority of migrants came here for a better life. It's not their fault that the previous administration just opened up the thing and said, okay, everybody come in. Because the way they did it was a little crazy. And there was a spike in crime in New York. I don't know about LA, but New York was bad, bro.
Oh, so yeah.
Yeah,
because
New York was
I don't
bad.
live over there,
New
so
York
I don't
was
know.
bad. New York was bad. Now you don't see them anywhere in the corners no more. But now you're seeing the other side. I'm seeing ICE everywhere, man, knocking on doors, looking for these people, hunting them down. I got friends that came to America as 1-year-olds. Where are they supposed to go? Oh, you came illegally, but I promise you, your ancestor 5 years ago, 50 years ago, 100 years ago came illegally too, probably. So, and a lot of Albanians came that way also. But the overwhelming majority, productive members of society. So I'm for the immigrant. I just think there should be some screening and a fair process to allow them to become citizens.
And I think...
And that's kind of where I'm at. I don't like open border, but I also don't want a closed border.
I think every immigrant thinks like that. And the overwhelming majority of immigrants are not criminals. You know?
Now, probably Billy Bob somewhere in Arkansas wants to take me out for saying it, but it is what it is. I mean, this country was built with these people, man.
Welcome to the Dale Elliott podcast. I am your host, Dale Elliott, and I am here with a special guest, my Albanian brother, Bek Lover.
Dale, the last time I saw you, we was in New York. We went on Godfrey's show. I had the most success I've ever had. I'm going to say it here on the record. I don't know what it is about you. Maybe it's the power of the Jamaican people. But that one clip was the best video that I ever had on my YouTube, brother.
What did you say in the video?
Well, we was talking about, how we salute, Jamaicans and Albanians. We have a lot in common. If you remember that time.
Oh, yeah, I remember now.
And I think that's very common for all oppressed people that have a very, tragic past, because your people have been through a lot in history, so have mine. And we was talking about the comparisons a lot. And that one clip about how we do different things with, this.
Oh, yeah.
We don't want to say the word. And a million views, man. That's the best I've ever done on YouTube. Now, I got hundreds of millions of views everywhere. I don't know. Where are all you YouTube people, man?
But trust me, I learned a lot from, especially with that podcast with me and Godfrey, about how much it is important to collaborate with people from different cultures, different parts of the world. We live in America. So, in order, we live here, we have to have friends here from other races. We have to go out. When I was in New York, you showed me a great time in New York. You brought me
to somewhere nowhere, the rooftop.
This rooftop, and it was alcohol. Everybody was like, "Hey, no, you here with Bek? You good?" Gave me bottles, all kind of stuff.
Am I your first Albanian friend?
Definitely.
So would you say that I represented the Albanian people in a good light?
Yeah, I think you guys are like
honorary Jamaicans?
Yeah, like gangsters. Not like that. You know what I mean? But you guys are cool.
Old school.
Yeah.
Just so you know, Albania also has gorgeous beaches, man. Maybe it's something about living on the water and having beautiful... Our tourism's starting to take off. Maybe one day we'd be like Jamaica, because you guys have great resorts down there. I've been to Jamaica when I was younger. I haven't been back since. Maybe one day I go back with you. My experience there was a very nice one. Yeah. I went to Negril.
Oh, yeah.
And I, left the resort and I hung out. The locals were very kind. I mean, I had a very, very good... My favorite part of Jamaica wasn't the beautiful landscapes. It was actually the Jamaican
The people.
No, seriously, very friendly, man.
Very friendly, very
And
happy.
every Jamaican I've ever met, I've never had a problem with. Yes, you have a reputation of being very serious, very tough in the streets, but hey, just don't bother them.
But
man.
I feel like you are.
We're the same way. We're the same way. We're like, we don't want no beef. Don't bother us. And we'll be the best friends you ever had.
Yeah.
I feel that's the same way you people are. You know, in the Bronx, you got a lot of Jamaicans.
Yep.
And there's a lot of Albanians.
All over.
And,
Actually, all over New York. New York, New Jersey,
Yeah.
a lot of Jamaicans.
No, of course, in all 5 boroughs. And I used to work for a Jamaican lady, actually, when I was younger. She was the manager of a Chase Bank. And Ruth. Hi, if you're seeing this, I made it.
Big up Ruth.
I made it, Ruth. But she was a very fair woman. She was very kind. She was spiritual, you know, very with God and stuff like that. And I used to sit in that bank and daydream of robbing it. I swear to God.
Of robbing her?
I swear to God. Because I was fresh out of college.
Yeah.
I was making more money before I finished college, right? Because in college, I was in the nightlife, in the clubs, throwing parties, having fun. Imagine like you're 19, 20, you're making couple $100 a night.
Yeah.
Sometimes a couple thousand, depending on the event and how you promote it.
Yeah.
And then you go from making that kind of money and just having fun, right? You're having fun and ladies and all that stuff. And then you go from that to you're just a number, come report to this little box, and you're a nothing, and you're getting paid pennies.
I don't think people talk about that enough.
Yeah. I was making $30,000 a year, 21 years old, and I was making more before I finished college, but I was trying to make my family happy. Okay, you finished for finance. Brother, I was miserable.
So
I kept jumping. Like in the corporate world, I kept going like 6 months here, 6 months. I must have switched jobs 100 times.
That's the beauty. You can't do that here. You can't do that in America.
If they say don't burn bridges, I mean, I burned them my whole life. I
feel
never
like
left
it's
a job
easier.
quietly, ever left a job quietly.
You just don't go
Jay,
back?
I didn't disrespect Ruth and
Yeah.
what I'm saying is like I let them I never gave the 2 weeks, man. I'll give them the 2 weeks, but I wouldn't last more than 2 hours after I gave my resignation.
You think they will give you the 2 weeks though?
Probably not.
Exactly.
You know, I don't know what your struggle was when you first came here. I don't know if you had to work some weird jobs. I mean, everybody's done it. There's no shame in there's a shame in not working. Is the way I was brought up. There's a shame in not working, sitting home and expecting something to change. You know, I'd rather go and make coffee, and you know, you might meet someone while you're making coffee, change your life. Like my expression, I've always said this to my family, to my girl, to my kids, because sometimes they get mad. Listen, you're on the road a lot. So am I. I mean, I changed my flight for you. That's how much respect and love I got for this guy. I was supposed to be on an airplane right now. Am I lying?
Him telling the truth.
I swear to Allah, to God, I changed my flight because I didn't realize he was even in town. He's like, yo, why don't you come on the pod? I said, my man, for you, I changed the flight. Because you know what? That's another thing. You got to strike when the iron's hot.
True.
Maybe you said, don't worry, come in June. I said, but maybe I won't be alive in June. So my point is, when you get an opportunity to collaborate, I have a lot of respect for you as an artist, as a person. You got a very large following. I did really well with you. Just being in the video with you helped me a lot. Why wouldn't I change my schedule a little bit to come and be on your show?
I do that all the time because collaboration is so important. You know, some of the time it come from the upbringing, because you mentioned earlier about like you wanted to do what your parents wanted to do.
To respect them, you know, but sometimes that's a trap too, you know.
Yeah, is Albania, is like the Albanian culture, does it have a lot of like arranged stuff, like you have to go to school or your father?
Up until recent times, you know, the family unit is very traditional in Albania. Right?
Yeah.
Up until modern times, right? And we're starting to get the same, I call it cultural sicknesses that the West has, in my opinion, okay? Where you're starting to have high divorce rate, the family unit's breaking down. So we're people that have a very tragic history. So there's always like someone that's leading the way, you know, and the father was always like the god of the house, you know? And we're trained to honor our parents, but sometimes it's our own detriment. And I don't say that you should ever disobey your parents. I always knew I should be doing talk shows and I always knew I'm in my yearbook in school, high school, most likely to have his own talk show. They knew. Yet I followed this cookie cutter of this is what you're supposed to do. You finish college, you get married, you work, you save your money, you buy some buildings. That's the Albanian way. You buy some properties, You rent them out and you work like a dog till the day you die, even though you have money. Albanians, they work till they die. Even though they have millions and millions and millions of dollars. My dad is 7 years old, multimillionaire, still works. Puts his hands in toilets, I swear to God.
I don't think it has nothing to do with hard. I believe that I am going to work till I die. I don't know what that will be, but as a man, I feel like sometimes if you stop working, it's like the flame goes. I know a lot of people, when they stop working, that's the moment they die.
They drop.
It's like, so your father working is a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because what I wanted to ask you is, for my viewers, majority Caribbean, we might know of the country Albania, but you were giving me some history about Albania, and I want you to enlighten the people about your country.
So I'll keep it, pretty short. So, I'm first generation born in America, right? So my family had to escape Albania.
Yeah.
Albania has had a very tragic history since long time. So first we were under the Roman Empire.
Yeah.
Then the Ottoman Empire, which is the Turks. Turkey came and controlled Europe from like 1300s, late 1300s. They started invading. They took control. They were there for 500-600 years. We were under Turkey. Then in the 1900s, we became independent, but we lost 80% of our territory. We lost a lot of our land to what was called Yugoslavia. The country doesn't even exist anymore. And Albanians, we're not even Slavic. They forced us to live about 50% of our population was put into a country under a people that we have nothing in common with. Not language, nothing. So Albanians are very diverse people when it comes to religion. I'm very proud of them. We never fight each other over religion. We Christian, we Muslim, Catholic, Orthodox. The Albanians are very tolerant. And as a matter of fact, we were the only country that saved all of our Jews during the Holocaust and all of Europe. But they never make a movie about it. I mean, what's up, Hollywood? So, we've had a very tragic history. I lost a lot of family, me personally, family and my cousin's cousins. In 1998, about 28 people during the Kosovo War. So what happened was they took a piece of Albania and they put it into Yugoslavia. So we lost about 80% of our territory. Now, if it wasn't for the United States of America, even back then, Albania would have been wiped off the map. We would have lost 100% of our territory. Because what happened was we're surrounded by people that they all took a piece from us, and there was almost nothing left. Then we had, like I said, so then we were put under these people. They started oppressing us. We were living in an apartheid system. Okay, people think apartheid, think only South Africa. This stuff happened in the middle of Europe too.
What's the difference though? Because, in
there wasn't
Africa,
much of a difference
compared
compared to what the South Africans went under and what the Albanians went under the Serbians. Pretty same thing. We were thrown from the jobs, not allowed to work unless we're Serb. My cousins had to go to school in their houses because they were not allowed to go to any public schools. To second-class citizen. Checkpoints everywhere, military. They would, beat us, jail us, eliminate us. And what makes me angry is the narrative that they tried to spin, like Tucker Carlson, right? Tucker Carlson. I still await your invitation, Tucker Carlson. You got all these people that give only the Serbian side of what happened. Why do you turn your back on the most pro-American people on earth? The Albanians are the most pro-American people on earth, brother, because they saved us 100 years ago. So we were forced to live under all these people that treated us horribly, and we didn't even want war. In the early 90s, you had the Bosnian War. It was a very bad war. And the Serbians, same people, were fighting with Croatians and Bosnians, and they went out. They're basically cousins. They're the same people, just different religion, basically. They speak the same language, basically. We don't speak Slavic. Our language is the oldest Indo-European language in existence. We're as old, if not older, than the Greeks themselves. And they know it. The problem is when you're under people for 2,000 years, your history doesn't get to go out. And now that we're free, the archaeologists are there, the linguists are there, they're studying, and a lot of truth is starting to come out. History is written by the winner, Dale, not by the loser. And I'm sure there's a lot of things about Jamaican history that was suppressed when you guys were occupied by the colonizers. There's things that maybe the world doesn't know about your people, that they should know about your people. So in a nutshell, we've had a very, very traumatic past.
Yeah.
It's the first time we've had freedom ever. And
how long have Albania
been
since 2000?
Yeah, and now Albania, what happened was when the Ottoman Empire collapsed in 1912, it collapsed, Albania goes into communism. The worst communism ever. Worse than North Korea. Nobody was allowed in, nobody was allowed out. So for about 50 years or whatever it was, no, like my grandfather, that's why I was born in America. My grandfather fought against the communists. His father, my great-grandfather, told him, you got to get over the mountain. You got to get the hell out of here. Somebody has to survive. They took my great-grandfather, who was a teacher, and they threw him in a hard prison for 28 years. How he survived, I don't know. He got out after communism. He lived like 1 year. I never got to meet him. You know, he died. But there was no way to know what happened. My grandfather never knew if his family was alive for over 40 years. And then it collapsed in the 90s, and now all these people that were held down, they get let loose into Europe. And some of them did things they shouldn't have done, but that's what happens when you have people caged in for 50 years. So sometimes our Italian friends, they get a little mad at us because Italy's right there. So we were like, you know, we were like the Haitians going, you know, like the Cubans going to Florida, you know, trying to escape Fidel. So our Florida was Italy. And we look Italian, but we're not. And a lot of us learn how to cook over there.
Because your accent right now
sounds like an Italian guy
to
from
me,
New York. Yeah.
I would just think it's an Italian guy from
Some
New York.
asshole from Manhattan.
So how often does people...
but we get along really well with the Italians.
Yeah.
And we have a very good history with them because we actually helped them. When the Turks were coming to take over Albania, we saved Italy from Turkey. It's a very interesting history, man, but people don't know nothing about it. So I'm like one of the only people in the world that talks about this stuff.
We say, you know what, the beauty about it is that the difference, I think you guys know some of the history. There's a lot of history, you know, that I would say my race, black people, we just don't know.
Because you were being held down and
yeah.
oppressed.
Displaced.
And not allowed to learn how to read and being killed. And you know, they didn't want you guys to be educated.
Yeah, so
that's what we're fighting in this life.
Yeah.
That's the number one enemy in this entire world. Especially in the world we live in right now and in the past. Ignorance, man. It's the most dangerous thing, man. There's people that are watching our podcast that have no idea what we're talking about. And I'm not even talking about Albanian history. I'm talking about just life.
But trust me, everybody is interested. That's the thing. And the beauty of collaborating is just that. Because everybody have a separate view of the world, and everybody has specific things that they are passionate about. You know, and obviously you are super passionate about, you know, the displacement of your...
You know what it is though, brother? And if I'm being fair,
yeah,
is I lost a lot of family, man. So I owe it to them, man. You know, like I had cousins, uncles that my dad used to force me to go there. I didn't want to go there. When I was younger, why would I want to go to Kosovo? It was a war zone. There was no electricity. There was no running water. It was the poorest place in all of Europe, okay? So here I am, born and raised in America, spoiled. Because even poor in America is rich over there at that time, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Poor in America, you rich compared to them over there at that time, you know?
Yeah, but this is the thing. So,
and I used to feel like sad.
As somebody from the Caribbean, our view of Europe is literally London, Paris.
Yeah, we're no London, man.
Like we don't know. Like, no, you're explaining to us that they are like
pockets
poor.
Of Europe.
They're like Eastern
it's called
Europe.
The Balkans. Yeah, the Balkans and Eastern Europe are the poorest areas of Europe because so much war. We are on the crossroads of all the great wars. And it's just where we are geographically is always a problem, and it's going to be a problem again. So, you know, going back every summer and seeing how my family lived over there, it made me more hungry.
Mm-hmm.
Like I have a chance. They don't even have this chance. If I drop this chance, I am shaming my family. I'm shaming my ancestors because they died for me to have this chance. Like they don't even have a chance. And it lit a fire under me, you know. But when I lost them, because I was in high school when I got the phone call, and that was a whole different thing, man. I get a phone call. I found out my cousin, he ended up surviving. But when they called me, they said he was gone too. He got hit with 30 bullets. He's still alive today, bro, which is crazy. First cousin, my aunt's son.
So who at this point, who was at war with?
So what happened was the Albanians in Kosovo, we got tired of being treated bad. The world forgot about us. The Bosnian War was going on for a few years. It was very bad. The Bosnians lost 500,000 people in that war. They're the same people that killed my people. And we tried peacefully to get recognized. We declared independence, but we didn't want to fight. And this is documented. They can twist the history. You can twist the history however you want. And I don't hate all Serbians. That's something I had to learn. I did when I was younger. I did hate them when I was younger. How can I not? But it took me realizing not everyone's the same. And not everybody believes in what they're like. I don't agree with what my country's done to so many countries. I don't agree with what America's done in the Middle East. So should they hate me? No, I'm actually on their side. I don't agree with what we've done in certain places, you know? We don't need to get into all that, but I don't agree with what we've done since 2001. So that person over there thinks that they represent me. No, they don't represent. So we got to look at each individual and not an entire nation. There's a lot of hatred going on right now. People want to put everyone in one box. All black people are like this. All Arabs are like this. All white people. No, they're not, man. They're not. You got to look at the individual. The hardest thing I had to learn was to first put the hatred out of my heart, because it was very difficult to do because I have a swollen heart, right? I lost people that taught me how to speak my language. Like every summer I play hide and go seek with these people. It's like if you're born in America but your cousins are in Jamaica and you go back every summer to the grill and you play and you go to the swimming and fishing and maybe a little smoky, you know? and then you get a phone call and they're all gone. That would devastate you. And it did devastate me as a young man. I was in, I think, sophomore year when it happened. I go from being a straight A student, I start failing because I was depressed. And my teachers knew what was going on. So they called me into a room and they said, listen, we heard about what happened to your cousins and your uncles. We know you're going through a hard time. We've looked at your grades since you were in elementary school. You've never gotten anything lower than a B. Now you're failing. Do you think you're honoring your family by giving up? It stuck with me to this day. Do you think you're honoring the family you lost by giving up, or you're making your enemy happy? When they said that thing, man, it was like a light bulb went off. I was like, they're right. I can't give up. My family died. I can't give up. They didn't give up. Boom, I get my grades back up, and, you know, here I am 20 years later. But, you know, trauma is either something you can let destroy you, and I know a lot of you out there. That's why people love comedians, man. Because you can take the darkness and say, you're basically saying you're not alone. I feel what you're feeling. I understand what you're going through. And you do it in a way that you're sharing that trauma in a way that's maybe easier to deal with.
Yeah, when you go through something, like I go through trauma. The trauma that I experience, I just find it easier to just express it in a comedic way.
Like they say, dark humor, you know?
Yeah, and some of the time it's not even as dark, because what is trauma to you might not be trauma to me, or vice versa. There are things that is quite normal to me that somebody would look at as, that's crazy. this is crazy. So it's just perspective. This is just to show, like, everybody has a story and everybody has something specific that they go through. And it's crazy how we end up in the same place. Like, I'm 29. I'm not sure your age, but I know you're way older
42.
than me. You're 42 years old.
I look like I'm 50, I know.
And me here sitting with an Albanian talking about Albania to Jamaicans and people from the Caribbean. So it's just amazing how cultures can collide and see, like, the bigger picture, you know, because what did you start out doing? Like, when you start after high school, after college, you finish accounting.
I did banking for a while. I hated it. I was still doing stuff in the nightlife. I kept moving up to different businesses and stuff like that. But then eventually I reached the top. I ended up working for Marriott at one point in my life, and I made a lot of money working for them.
Like, as a manager? Like
basically as a sales manager.
Okay.
Selling timeshare.
Really?
Yeah, like $500,000 a year, bro. To work 30 hours a week.
Amazing.
Just talking, right? But I wasn't happy, man. And I think the reason I wasn't happy wasn't because I didn't like doing my job, and I loved the money.
Did you say to your father, Dad, I'm not happy?
It was the management. It was the bad managers, man, make you lose amazing employees. So, you know, I just got tired of the people that were managing me. I felt like they were, you know, I felt like they were idiots. And I said, I am not going to leave because I did everything right in that position. I worked very hard. I did whatever they needed me to do. I did things that were beyond my job description. And then to be treated a certain way by management, it just left such a bad taste in my mouth. I said, and I was always A-type personality. I don't like taking orders. I said, I will be damned if I ever work for anybody ever again. And I jumped off the ledge.
People.
I just jumped off the ledge, man. I took some of the money I had left. I was burning through money, and I bought all the podcast equipment, and I said, I'm gonna become a podcaster.
So you walked away from 500,000 a year
God.
to become a podcaster.
Yes, and my family still calls me stupid to this day.
My grandmother in Jamaica would say, shot you a box.
Yeah.
She'd just rub her hand in the ground and slap you right across the face. Wake up. But the thing is,
I said to myself, if I could help them make 120 million, I know I can make at least 1 or 2 for myself.
And that is the beauty of being an entrepreneur. Some of the time we just
and it
have
hasn't been easy.
Oh no! Look at what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, I know. It's scary.
But
I think you should change your name to Dale Just Do It Elliott. Because I mean, what you've been doing in comedy, brother. Listen, I know a lot of comedians, they don't get to what you're doing like this. They don't. They got to go through a lot of pain. You basically jumped over a process that everyone follows and are delivering, bro. That's very difficult to do. And I think there's something to say about that, whether it's in comedy, podcasting. If you know you have a gift, and how do you know, people, well, how do you know what the gift is? Because everyone around you tells you. Or I'm not saying you ask them.
Or you keep on doing it until they believe you.
Until you become good, yeah. I'm not saying you ask people what you should do. Because that was probably one of the biggest mistakes I ever made in my life. It probably costed me 10 years of my life, doing things I never wanted to do. I think the hardest thing in life is not to make it, is to know what you want. Because even if you're not making money, you're happy. Because remember, I had the money, but I wasn't happy. I was going with ambulance, panic attacks, great paycheck, miserable.
So was it hard to do your job?
I had it down to a science. I mean, it was really easy for me. What was difficult to deal with was the people you got to work with and playing their games. You know how, I don't know if you ever worked a corporate job. It's a lot of bullshit in there. And the people that are the smartest and the best working don't make it to the top.
No. When I moved to America.
You know what makes it to the top? The people that do this.
Kiss ass.
That's who makes it to the top.
When I first came to America, I've only ever worked 2 jobs here. I drove Uber.
Okay.
And
not easy. That's a very difficult job.
I used to drive Uber 13 hours a day.
And they're not going to be driving much longer. I'm seeing all these Wayos all over.
Yeah.
Man, this is crazy.
In LA.
It's scary, man. No, I saw them in New York, but I didn't know what they were. I thought they were Google Maps.
Oh, no.
Every other car is a white car, Jaguar, driving with no driver. These people are all in danger of losing their jobs very quickly.
People, these are self-driving cars. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Technology. Everything.
They're everywhere, all over LA.
Everything is electrical right now. I've never used its name. Its name is Waymo.
Waymo.
Viewers, let me know if you have Waymo in your state.
Crazy.
People from Jamaica, Waymo is like a
Uber, but it's no driver.
Electronic Uber. There's no
Automated.
driver. Takes you where you need to go.
There's no one in the car driving you. The car drives itself. It's crazy to me. It's scary, man.
Do you think machines will eventually replace?
If it keeps going the way it's going. At the hotel I was staying in Beverly Hills, they said, sir, if you need towels or anything, so I called. I said, I need some extra towels. All of a sudden, I opened the door. There's a machine outside, man.
Oh, the machine
it was
bring
a
the
robot.
towels?
I swear to God. It's at the Burton Hotel in Beverly Hills. The Burton.
I know the Beverly Burton. Yeah.
It brings coffee too, the machine. And if you say thank you, it dances. I said, what the hell is this? It's people about to, if you're slacking right now, I'm going to tell you what you're slacking. If you think you're secure in your job right now, you're not. Even us, as people in the arts, we need to start putting labels on stuff. Organic. This podcast is organic, human-made.
Yeah.
So people can know what to support. If it was me, I would boycott those companies, me personally. Why? Because I know it's going to lead to the loss of millions of jobs. Not just here, around the world.
Yeah, but it starts small. Remember when self-checkout and how much
a lot of people jobs.
That cost a lot of jobs. And now you go in the supermarket, you go into Amazon right now with the cart, and everything is automatic. You put it in the cart, it's already charged.
It's already charged.
Yeah, there's
Why,
that.
they have supermarkets here?
Yeah, they're Amazon Fresh.
Oh, okay. Whole Foods, but different brand, right?
Yeah, it's almost the same thing. But technology is really taking away a lot of jobs.
Lightning speed.
Yeah.
It's coming for all our jobs.
How do you feel about ChatGPT?
I think ChatGPT Which, by the way, that one of the head people of ChatGPT is Albanian.
Oh,
That's crazy. Some woman, Albanian woman, is the head of ChatGPT, like at least the face of it. What do I think about it? I think it's a very good tool, but I think it made, man, I wish I was a kid with ChatGPT. I would have never had to do no papers, but I don't think I would know as much as I know, because you do learn when you're forcing yourself to read and study and write reports.
That is what I worry about, though. I worry that the people coming up after my generation, I'm 29, after my generation, between that 2020 to 2024 era schooling, I don't feel like it's as good as before, because honestly, if I can just chat GPT everything. Before, I had to Google it. But then, there's softwares we have to use, turn it in, and, it might be flagged. But chat GPT gives you the same thing. You can change it.
People will give you in seconds.
Yeah, I can ask chat GPT to draft a contract for such and such, and it's there.
And this is nothing compared to what it's going to be soon. This is first generation we're seeing, right? Imagine.
Yeah, this is not like the iPhone. The iPhone is at 16. This is just one. This is one.
This is just the beginning of what we're about to see. What's scary about all of that, though, is that once everything's just online, if something major event ever happened, and computers get wiped out or something like that, it can be scary in some ways. I feel like right now, if people didn't have their phones, they wouldn't even know how to get around anymore, because we didn't have navigation growing up. Driving was crazy in the old days.
I heard you guys used to drive around.
We had to stop sometimes, use a payphone. I'm lost. Try to guess where you are. Stop. It was crazy. Like, if you got lost, you got lost.
Especially in New York.
Anywhere, like, you got lost, it was serious. Like, you didn't know if you were gonna make it back home that night. Like, it was crazy. I remember it as a younger man. Then we got lucky once the internet came out. They had something called MapQuest. So you would type in the address and then print out the directions. Okay. But sometimes it wasn't accurate. So that one line that's wrong, you get lost.
You still get lost.
But it was still 80 times better than the old way of having to stop. Hey, do you know which way this is or that way? Like, it was crazy how we used to get around. So I just think it's scary. Yes, it's good. Thank God. I'm so glad we have navigation.
Yeah.
Think about it. You tour a lot. I tour a lot. It's nice to be able to go to a city, research kind of where you should go, where you should stay away from, what's good to eat, what's not good to eat, where you can have a bite, and at the same time how to get there, and you don't have to look like you're a tourist.
Yeah, nobody knows.
Nobody knows because you walk with confidence.
You walk out, sit in an Uber, you're gone.
You're walking with, exactly. You don't even have to even deal with the outside. You could just get an Uber to go place to place, and because there is some danger when you travel. You don't know. You could take one wrong turn. You're in the wrong hood.
Yeah.
That exists in the world. So, those are the blessings of technology. I think what's scary is that if somehow this technology disappeared,
what would happen?
People wouldn't know how to get anywhere or do anything. So, like, that's, what are the odds of that happening? I don't know. Maybe a meteorite comes and wipes out satellites. I don't know. But something like that could happen. So I still try to memorize phone numbers. Not a lot, but I have about 15.
Yeah, I try to memorize the important ones.
Yeah, because you never know. You never know, man. You might get locked up, God forbid, or something, and you need to be in there. You don't have your phone, or your phone dies. Then what are you gonna do? So I tell my kids.
How does it feel right now, like, to even? It's crazy to even, like, not have my phone on me right now.
You get like anxious. Yeah. Like, where is it?
Do you think it's programmed right now to, like, mess with you? Like when was the last time you put down your phone and not use it?
Only right now to be on your show, so no interruption.
See?
Doom scrolling, man, all day. I see all your videos. I always look.
Do you think that?
I think we lose a lot of time.
You think that's on purpose, though?
I think we lose a lot of time, brother. Like, it sucks you in, man.
Yeah.
Do you doom scroll? Be honest.
If I'm on a flight.
Flight, definitely.
Yeah, but
and
home.
A flight goes a lot faster too.
Yeah, home. I don't. What do you call it? Doom scroll. Hey,
that's what the world calls it.
Comments.
Doom scrolling.
Comments.
Because when you go in, it's like a black hole, and you just get sucked in it, and you lose hours, and you don't realize you.
I doom watch. So for me, my thing right now is YouTube. I need to have a YouTube video playing for me to sleep. And I don't know if that is a problem. I have to turn on YouTube.
You need some kind of what we call white noise in the
Yeah,
background.
I don't. It can be anything, whatever. If it's infographics or
Anything, as long as something's playing.
something, just have to be
There's a
playing
lot
on
of people
YouTube.
that we sleep like that. It's called white noise.
Yeah.
I don't know why they call it that, but it's like my girl's like that. My girl leaves the TV on. I can't. If I hear one noise, except crickets, I like the sound of crickets.
You're gonna wake up.
Yeah, I don't like a cricket when it's inside the house though.
I have a cricket. There was a cricket right here for maybe 2 months.
Drove you crazy.
My co-host Crooks, we look for it. We can't find it. Crooks couldn't make it today. Crooks get him here. Don't even reach late. But when no, just YouTube, and some of the time I watch a lot of news and I feel like no news, it makes me paranoid.
Paranoid, anxiety.
Makes me. It's like
Makes
everything.
you feel like there's no hope for the world.
Yeah, everything on the news right now feel like something
Very negative.
wrong can happen, because you mentioned something and you had me really thinking. What is your thoughts on cryptocurrency?
My honest to God opinion. And
Yeah.
people, they rip me. You don't understand it. You're an idiot. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm an expert in crypto. I just feel like I think I know what comes at the end of it all. And I think it's total domination of humanity. So I think people believe a fairy tale that some Japanese wizard invented Bitcoin. I don't believe that to be the truth.
What's the name again?
Yeah, so whatever his name. Yoshimitsu, whatever his name is.
Yeah, but I know it's a Japanese wizard.
Yeah, where is he? Nobody's ever seen him. No one's ever met him. It's a story we were fed. Because if they told humanity what they were going to use crypto for in the future, none of us would be using it right now. None of us would be trading it right now.
But how do you know they're going to?
Because I believe from the spiritual perspective.
Okay.
From the Muslim, from the Christian perspective, they believe in the end times. They believe in a figure that's going to come and dominate the world, an evil figure, like an antichrist.
Okay.
And he's going to have a type of system that is easy to control the masses. And I think with crypto, there's a universal ledger. So every transaction is registered, right? And I'm not saying because, we should do illegal things. I'm just saying that why is it the government's fault if I give, why do they need to know if I give Dale Elliott $10? I already paid tax on the money.
I think that's like bank transfer and stuff like that. That's not crypto.
I have a very bad feeling about crypto in the long run. I think paper money is going to collapse eventually. The dollar, all these currencies are going to go down the drain, and there's going to be an electronic money for the entire world, one currency. And I think through that currency, they're going to manipulate the masses and enslave us, I think. I think they're going to limit how much you can travel, what you can buy, I really truly believe that that's what the game plan is. And I think that people need to really pay attention, and we need to make sure, they allow people to make money because they can pull the rug. And that's a word that they use in crypto. I got rugged. Rug, when someone's standing on the rug and you pull the rug and they fall, right? I believe that the entire crypto system is a rug for the elites to control the world. They got to get us in the game first.
You want to know what I believe with crypto? Why I am not 100% sold on it? You're telling me that if I forget my password, I'm broke?
That's crazy. But that's where they get into the whole chip, I think. To secure your crypto, they do things, in my opinion, if you believe in these agendas that a lot of people do. And I tend to lean towards that. I do believe there's some game plan for humanity and people pulling strings and stuff like that.
My viewers, we're just interested because we're just, I don't look into stuff too much. To me, I look at crypto, it's an investment tool. This is how you invest.
Air.
I don't understand it. So because I don't understand it, I will play around, hey, let me put a 500 here. To me, it's gambling.
It's like gambling. I agree with you.
Feels like gambling.
Because they control it, man. Just like the house controls the casino. I truly believe that they have to get the youth in. So how do they get the youth in? By letting them make money.
Yeah.
They can turn around and create a whole new system and say, 1 banana is 1 Bitcoin. Are you still rich?
Not anymore.
The only reason that Bitcoin has value is because companies started saying, I will accept payment through Bitcoin. Otherwise, it had no value. It was worthless when it first came out.
I remember Bitcoin being $700.
It was lower than that, brother. I remember when it first came out, it was nothing. 0.00, it was nothing. What started skyrocketing the value? Perceived value, right? Speculation.
That's more.
Companies started taking.
That's everything outside of gold.
So I believe that I think even within the next couple of years, there's going to be something massive that happens that pushes humanity into crypto completely. I think no more than 10 years, complete takeover. I don't think we'll have physical dollars anymore at all. And I think it won't be the US dollar. It'll be one crypto coin that the whole world uses. So maybe Bitcoin might be like the gold of the electronic money. Because if I have gold right now, I can't really walk into many stores and buy something with it. Maybe a few of them might.
Yeah, but it's still the most valuable
But it stores the most value, right? So we use dollars to transact business, but we can use gold to store the value.
Yeah.
I look at Bitcoin like that. Bitcoin is the store in their world, this new world that they're building. And all these other currencies are going to be whatever they decide. Like I just think it's a very dangerous game for humanity, is what I think. I think they will literally limit how much meat you can buy. I truly believe this. That's what I think is coming for all of us. Meat and this and that. And you only get to buy 1 bar of deodorant. I really believe that's where's the back end of this, where we're going to look back and go, I wish I never downloaded the app. I wish I never used this. I really, truly believe that.
Yeah,
people call me stupid all day.
Oh, no.
We'll see who's stupid.
Look, I don't think it's stupid. I feel like it's just an opinion. What I find strange is the fact that it's just how much we don't see our money anymore.
Which is scary too.
So before, say you had $10,000, you could have seen, you're home, you see it. You can touch it. Now that sort of money just move around like, oh, I press it on my phone, and now it's on your phone, and now it's yours.
It's crazy.
And it goes through so much people, and none of us have seen that money that we
actually ever saw it.
That everybody says you have. So we can be like, yeah, I have, say a person say, oh, I have $100,000 in my account. And do you? That's the only, do you though? Like you have it, there's a card here and the card says you have $100,000, but it's like you swipe, and now you don't have it anymore. So we never see what we actually have. And that to me is kind of scary. And with crypto,
more scary.
The way how volatile,
extremely volatile.
The
swings are crazy.
Which is why I know a lot of people that do crypto and they make money off it and they believe it and they have great arguments to justify why it's great and why it's good. Maybe I am still old school, but where my investment is concerned, I don't understand it. So I tend to leave it alone because my fear is crypto has too much, it's too predicated on the news. Like if you watch the news every day and you watch crypto, it goes with the news.
Yeah, it goes big time. So this
is what Trump, and that's why it's kind of scary.
Yeah.
So if I am in power, I can say what I want today, and it will make my friends millionaires tomorrow. And
there's a lot of that going on.
And I can say something else and it changes. So the older I get is the more I realize that, okay, then this is not, something is going on here.
Something more nefarious.
People are controlling everything. And to me, I look at it as I live here and I just need to
play the game.
I wouldn't even say play the game. You know? Just survive the game. But it's clear that people are in control. It is.
I think it's pretty obvious too. I think
it's clear as day.
Yeah, if you can't see that by now, that you're dumb. I'm sorry. I just got to tell you, you're dumb. If you can't see that there's people that seem to collaborate all over the world, this group of people, in my opinion, and that they kind of make things move and things happen and conflicts, and I think it's pretty obvious by now, especially over the last 6 years.
Yeah. So for me with I always, anything that I don't know, I always like leave it alone. And then if something interests me, that is when I ask questions. And the thing is, I am realizing now that the more I tend to step out and ask more questions and want to see things from a different scope. So it's like, yeah, somebody tell me to buy crypto. And I am like, yes, I am going to do it. But then I am looking at all the people around me, and we are buying 500, 100. And when the big booms, I don't see anybody getting rich. I'm wondering who is this making rich, because I'm not seeing them.
It made one of my cousins rich. He ended up leaving America, going to Puerto Rico to avoid taxes.
Yeah, it's still in America though.
Yeah, but it's not considered a country or a state. But yeah, it's a province of America.
Yeah.
But he left for the tax advantages. I said, you got to make some serious money to leave and go to another.
Yeah,
know?
for taxes.
And he was telling me he invested in Trump coin, right? And he was up to 4 million on it. He only put like 50 grand. He made 4 million. And he didn't take the money. I said, why? Why wouldn't you take the 4 million, bro? Because, you know, Trump made a lot of money on that, bro. He overnight, Trump coin, and then it crashed.
But I see that happen.
Schemes, man. These are all schemes.
But I see that happen with the Hacto.
Yeah.
She
got
a
in
coin.
trouble. She got in trouble because of that coin.
So that's why
anyone can make. You can make a Dale Elliott coin tomorrow. If you can find people that are crazy enough to buy it, you make a lot of money, bro.
The coin.
Yeah, Trump made $1 billion on that. $1
You
billion overnight. And then someone gets stuck holding the potato, you know?
That's why this digital currency thing is confusing to me. For instance, do you remember how people were really into NFT? Do you remember NFTs?
Oh, NFTs was the biggest. You know, people like Gary Vee made a lot of money on that. You don't hear them talking about it. Gary Vee made like 60, 70 million supposedly. He's a big motivational speaker.
Oh, he's a motivational.
Yeah.
Oh.
He tells people they have forever to make it in life. No, you don't. You're young, 7-year-olds. You're young. No, you're not young. You're going to die soon. I hope you did something with your life.
He said that to 70-year-olds?
Yeah, he tells people you have forever. You don't have forever because you don't know if you're going to be alive tomorrow, man. I live every day like it's my last. Every day is like my last. This guy's a big influencer telling people you have time. Listen, I like to be positive, but you got to be realistic too. You don't have time. Time is the most precious thing. And what is money? Money is basically a piece of paper that's worth time. Because if I have to give up my time to get that piece of paper, how precious is that piece of paper? Because that's really what it is. It's time converted into paper. And that's why rich people are very fortunate, because they don't have to give up their life spending time trying to get the piece of paper. They get to go use their time for whatever they want. And I never cared about the when I was younger a little bit, you know, the glamour and, I got a Mercedes and Ferrari and all that bullshit. But really, it's just the flexibility, the freedom, the ability to help people, family. Like, that's what I wanted for.
Money buys time.
Time.
Well, it buys time to do the things that you actually want to do.
Yeah. Because even, like, you've seen Jamie Foxx now. Like, my friend Jay Young is good friends with him. And they're in, you know, and he said it. I was just watching a video of him right now. He was like, man, I almost didn't make it because, you know, he had some health issues.
Yeah.
And now he's like, I'm going to get every last thing I can get out of life. I mean, but what else could he? He guys has it all. He's done it all. He's seen it all.
Yeah.
But you could tell it gave him this luster to live life again to the fullest, because you never know when you're going to be gone, man. So to me, it's sad. If you're someone watching this show and you know you're not happy, I'm not telling you to get to the point where you put yourself on the streets.
Yeah.
But there's always a way to make a move, man. I promise you, some of the people watching the show right now, they're not happy with their job. But I bet you they watch sports at least 10 hours a week. Football, soccer, whatever. Take the 10 hours and start learning something, man. All you need is 30 minutes a day. Within 5 years, you're a master in any subject. You know this. 30 minutes a day if you read on any subject.
I want to know, what do people classify as being a master, though? Is
just
that
having knowledge, like, you know, every angle about something, you know, is what I consider a master.
Yeah.
You know everything about its inception, its history, where it might go in the future. You know, me trying to do comedy compared to you, I'm not even first level, you know, and then you compare yourself maybe to someone like Eddie Murphy, right?
Yeah.
Guy's a legend.
Time. Yeah.
I wish he would do stand up again, man.
He will. I think
What's his origin? Where's he from? He's just American?
I think he American. He has a good Jamaican accent.
I took you to that place where he started.
Yeah,
that's where he became famous there.
The celeb.
And the comic strip live.
Comic strip. Yeah, we went to like 3 comedy clubs that night.
Is where Eddie Murphy, and legend has it, because I know the wife, right, Jeannie. Shout out to Jeannie Comic Strip. He just walked in one day, and her husband was the owner. He was a legend in comedy. He managed a lot of big people. He passed away a couple of years ago, and Eddie Murphy just walked in. He goes, "I'm funnier than all these motherfuckers." He was. Just like that. They said, "Yeah, you're funny. Go up there." He was. He ended up signing to be his manager. He's in the music video with him. The guy's name is Richard Tankin.
Which one? Party all the time.
Yeah, he's in the video.
That's one of my
he's coming down the
songs.
stairs. He's the guy with the gray hair. Right in the beginning of the video, he's coming down the stairs with Eddie Murphy. That was his first manager. And that's my good friend's husband. He passed away. So that's the story how Eddie Murphy blew up. He blew up in the comic strip live. And we went there together. Remember we went downstairs?
Yeah. Some people will say that is what egotistical, or
he knew he was good at his craft.
He knew.
And that's what I was saying earlier, and I forgot to finish it. People go like, "Well, what am I supposed to do?" If everyone around you is telling you, you make the best apple pie. Hello.
Let's make some
Stupid.
apple pie.
That's God. That's God talking through people to tell you that's your gift. Everyone has a gift. Your gift might be able to make a face like this. It's so funny, maybe it makes you famous. Everybody has a gift. The problem is most people, like I did myself in my own life, I suppressed my own talent to try to make everyone else happy. And then you get to a certain place in life and you realize I didn't live life on my terms. So then you say, well, the money doesn't really matter because I'm not happy. And now, even though it was some rough years, Dale, I feel fulfilled, man.
And all right, and maybe this is our first probably disagreement. You say the money don't make you happy. The thing is, I've never had no level of money that brings. I know. I can tell you that money makes you stress.
Not having it makes you more stressed. I agree.
Yeah, not having it make you more
stressed. It
stressed.
It very stressful because I've been in those positions too.
Yeah, but I see where getting exposed to a certain thing.
What I meant is, if you're working in a job that makes good money, but what you're doing to get it doesn't make you happy, that's kind of what I meant.
No, trust me, completely
because money's
understand.
nice. I like money.
What I was alluding to was that. So yes, they say money don't get happiness, but there's a lot of people out there, including me, that I rather have money and unhappy. I would rather have $100 million and live a miserable life. You know why?
Why?
Because I believe as a man, I can be living the miserable life, but I am going to change everybody's life around me.
Okay, see, that's honorable.
And
so you're willing to self-sacrifice.
Exactly. If
that's
I can be miserable and my children is happy, wife,
some Jamaicans that need help,
father,
some orphans, some whatever. Yeah, that's different. I would make that trade too. I would. My dream, people say, like, what's your dream? It's not to drive fancy cars. I promise you. I've had them. I mean, I never had Ferraris, but I had, Mercedes. I had all that stuff. My dream is to be able to walk into a war zone and these people have lost everything and they have no idea who I am. And I don't even do it for the camera because it's not authentic.
Yeah.
Because I do believe in a higher power, right? I believe in God. So my dream would be to go to a place like what's going on overseas right now. And these people lost everything. And just walk in and say to 50 families, you just lost everything you had. You lost this, you lost that. I got you. That's my dream, man. I've done it on smaller levels, where you help one individual or what again. But I would love to be able to have the power to never have to worry about how many people I can do it for.
Yeah,
that's my dream.
You know what's crazy? I've been fortunate enough to have mentors that people would consider like wealthy. And I really realize that when they get to a certain level of wealth, it's like after you get struggle out the way and you have this level of money now, it's a whole nother stress that is just as bad,
but in a
mentally, just a different way.
Yeah.
So it's either now you're struggling to keep it or you're struggling to find out who is real around you, your friends change.
Everyone wants a piece of you.
Family change. Now you're wondering, is this person... Like, I find out that a lot of wealthy people have issues with finding friends.
And trust, yeah.
Because they don't know... It's like...
Is it really authentic?
Like, does this person really want to be my friend, or is this person trying to get something from me?
And I think that's why a lot of people hang on to their like friends that while they were coming up.
Yeah.
But it also hurts a lot of them because sometimes those people really do not give a fuck about you. So I think a lot of artists sometimes get trapped in that too. Like they finally make it and they think, well, just because I knew this guy before I made it, and then sometimes those end up being the worst people that were around. I mean, it depends on the situation.
It's just that sometimes the same people that bring you down because you don't want to let go.
Look at Nipsey. It was his boy, no? I was just there yesterday.
Oh, you went to
I
Slauson?
went to Marathon Burger. It was delicious, by the way.
You know, I haven't been down there as yet. I need to go down there.
You should go, brother. We don't wait on no. You know I don't wait on no lines there. You see me.
Listen to me. I don't know.
I got people in every city.
This man knows somebody. This man have to be some big shot, cause this guy.
Nah, man. I just you know this, brother. I always try to take care of people, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't expect nothing in return. It's nice when people can return favors, but
yeah,
life doesn't have to be so miserable, man. If we all just helped each other just a little, man. Just a little, like literally, just a little bit. I swear to God, this earth. I feel like this is why we're failing as a species. I do believe God made us. He put us on this earth to see which of us would be righteous. I think with the littlest amount of help, I swear to God, there would be no suffering in this world, man. 2%. If everyone that has money, I'm not talking about people that don't have, gave only 2% of what they don't need, no one would starve on the earth. Do you know that? Not a single person would starve. The world is the way we are, not because of God. It's because of the gift he gave us and how we choose to use that gift. And because some of us are so greedy and so narcissistic and so selfish, and we don't think about anyone else except ourselves, not even our own families. There's some people that don't give a fuck about you know this. I don't have to tell you this.
Nobody.
Okay? And some of them have a lot of fucking money, man. A lot of money. And it's just the world does not need to be like this.
But do you realize that there is a... There's a correlation between that. Like a lot of not all, but I've heard that to get to a certain level,
you got to cut some throats.
You have to be very, very cutthroat.
Yeah, I agree. You know, sometimes, and then, you know, I mean, I'm not going to get into people's names, but like there's people like for 30 years.
Names.
Yeah, 30 years they put on this front like they were successful, this and that. Now they're literally, not even 6 months ago, national story, involved with certain politicians in jail. I know the guy, okay? And he cut a lot of corners. And guess what? They caught up.
30 years later, how old is he?
Okay, he's in his 70s now, I think, late 60s. Okay, it caught up. And he's going to spend the last years of his life in jail. There's a price for everything in life. And some people get away with it.
Yeah, some people die. Some people die.
Yeah, some people get away with it, but I don't think we get away with anything, in my opinion. You know, I lean more towards the spiritual. I mean, that's kind of what I'm famous for. I try to build bridges between faiths.
Yeah.
A lot of people debate, you know, in religion, and I think it's very harmful. I don't like it. Unfortunately, sometimes I get dragged into this shit. You know? But my message to the world is, regardless of your race, your color, your background, I believe humanity is one family. I believe we all came from Adam and Eve. And Adam and Eve, in my opinion, peace and blessings be upon them, they were made up of all the colors of the earth. That was their composition. And if you look at human being skin colors, it looks like the different colors of the earth. You understand? Like if you really look at it, I guess I'm more like sand, you know? But, you know, the red clay of the Native American, like we look like the earth. And I really do believe when a human being kills another human being, they're killing their brother and they're killing their sister. And I don't think we're here by accident. I don't think any of this is by accident. I don't think we met by accident. I don't know. I mean, maybe I've noticed it a lot more now, but even in my younger age, like the amount of coincidences in life. I don't know if you've experienced like...
Yeah, when you realize like...
Coincidences, like there's just no way. Like,
yeah, you can make one decision just to... Instead of me turning right today, I turn left. And the left turn that I made today changes the whole dynamic of my life. And I've had so much of those, like, decisions. And it's something as simple as like making a right turn instead of going straight changed the whole trajectory of my life.
I guess the Muslims would say kismet, meaning like your destiny, you know?
Yeah.
So I believe in free will. I believe human beings have free will. But I don't believe we have control. So what do I mean by that? I believe the game board is rigged by God.
Yeah.
It's a simulation that God created. Could you control when you were born? No. You could have been born instead of Jamaican, Albanian.
Yeah.
So you didn't have a say in that. So where the game started for you, someone else decided that. Now some would say maybe it was your father with your mother, but you get my point.
Yeah.
You could have been born 200 years ago. You could have been 100 years from now, born, I'm saying. So where you started
some
was...
think it could have been reincarnated.
Yeah, I believe God chooses when each soul comes into the earth, okay? The game board is rigged. There's people that didn't choose things to happen, right? I didn't want to lose my brother. My brother died in a car accident. I say my brother was my mom's brother, but I was so close to him that people don't understand the relationship.
Yeah.
He was my uncle, but he was everything to me. He was my mentor. He was the guy I'd call 3 o'clock in the morning. He's the guy I would laugh with, cry with, everything with. He was my brother. There's no other word for him. And when I lost him, it was devastating. And it had such an impact on my life. It destroyed my life. And a lot of people say like law of attraction. There is no law of attraction. I didn't attract that. We were as happy and as positive as you could be. I believe it's good to be positive, which is what the essence of the law of attraction, like to be positive, to think good. Yes, I do believe there's benefit in that. But there's people right now in the Middle East that did nothing wrong and they're being, taken out, right? So they didn't attract that. Someone's kid getting cancer, you didn't attract that. The game board is rigged. I believe how we respond to these things that we have no control over, that's the free will. We can choose to allow them to destroy us, or we get through it with patience and try to be the victor, because you're going to die anyway. So why not go out swinging? The number one regret I have over the last decade, because each decade of your life changes dramatically. One of my cousins, Adrian, shout out to my cousin Tiku.
For me, it's like every 5 years.
This is a guy that's been through everything. Okay, he lived in communism. He'd been through it all.
Yeah.
And he used to tell me this, but I was like, he was right. He's like, brother, every 10 years, he's like, it changes completely. And every decade, some people like might be more. You're a more active life, But, you look back at the last time, you go, man, I was so stupid. Every 10 years, I'm looking back, I'm going, man, I was so stupid. Man,
for me, it's every 5. It's
like we think we're so smart, and then we look back, and now I'm dealing with my son who's turning 19. And I'm sitting here going, you think you know? Now I sound like my dad. So it's these cycles, right? Ignorance, man. That's the enemy.
But you say religion. Did you know, so fun fact, did you know Jamaica has the most churches per square mile in the whole world?
In the whole world?
Yeah.
No, you just taught me that.
Yeah, we have a lot of churches.
Any Muslims in Jamaica? Is Islam growing down there?
There probably is. I probably haven't had a conversation with any, but there's not a lot. Jamaica is predominantly Christian, Rastafari.
Shout out to the Rastafarians, bro.
There's probably Jewish people in Jamaica as well, but majority of the country. I go out on a limb and I might say Jamaica is maybe 90%, 95% Christianity.
Okay.
Yeah. And
And I tell this to the Christians, so I want them to hear me as Jamaicans too, and anyone that's listening.
Yeah.
There's this perceived animosity between Christians and Muslims, which I believe is generated mostly by the media.
And it's funny because Jamaica,
you guys get along with everybody, bro. I've been there. I've seen it with my own eyes.
That's the thing. So when we step out of the country and start traveling, which is why I named my tour Son of an Immigrant, because I just started realizing so much things, because Jamaica is small. We're 3 million people, and there is so much that we don't know, or really we're just not interested in, that when we come out and coming to the world, people just when we just put ourselves in Europe or
a new location.
Exactly. And now we're learning, okay then, oh, this is a different type of warfare. Oh, there's a war here. There's for us, it's like,
you just mind your own business.
No, but it's crazy. It's like, yo, when I first come here and like hearing about racism and learning about slavery and stuff in school, like we learned that. But it's completely different when you move to the place and you see it with your eyes. And it's different. And even learning like that, okay, you are from a different part of Europe and you're from a war-torn part of Europe. I know about wars and stuff in Europe that I learned in school, but we're not learning that, oh, there are white people in extreme poverty and there's white people fighting each other and there's racism amongst whites.
They never told you any of this, right?
No, we don't learn that. We
didn't learn a lot of things we should have learned in America too.
Exactly.
Because, they spin it towards their agenda.
Whether is that agenda
So
or
compared
not,
to what
it's
you
just,
thought about America and like actually living here now, like what do you think? You think we're fucked?
no, I honestly can say I like this country. I love this country. I live here. I'm making my life here.
I mean, it's pretty chill for the most part. Man.
And this country enables me to do all the stuff I can for my country. And
I mean, you are an ambassador of your people.
exactly. And I can champion being Jamaican and
you're proud to be. I know you are.
yes, America is the hub. When you're here, you get access to everywhere. It's
now.
Yeah, it would be very difficult for me to sit and have this conversation. I wouldn't have met you.
Yeah, you wouldn't.
So the America makes everywhere
Not unless
smaller
I'm going to hedonism again.
Oh, you went to hedonism?
No comments.
All right, people, Jamaica don't know what hedonism is. Well, yeah, it's
No
a
comments.
different. It's a different look based off what expectation meets reality. So like music videos. That's what I used to think America was. The streets is just everything looks like everybody hates Chris, and there's a music video that shot. I wasn't expecting to see them size rats. I wasn't expecting to see the different types of people. These people don't get along with that. Like, this is not the part that is advertised. We learn, like, I don't think people would understand if you're not, but there are people right now in Jamaica that me just coming to America, they would, like you do a test and you pass the test and they would be like, congratulations, I'm proud of you. You've done so much in life. Like, there are people right now that look and getting to America as that. Like, I'm proud of you.
Just to have a chance.
Just to have a chance.
I know. Same thing in our country. So half of our population lives outside of the borders because of poverty and because of war. So our youth is all over the world working jobs that these people don't want to work, because these people, half of them at least are cheering that they're rounding up all these migrants, with right now with Trump in office and all that stuff. Do I think we should have an open border in America? No. I think that's dangerous. As someone that was, in New York when those buildings came down, we're avoiding certain words because we explain, because it can affect, the episode. So I was there, for those of you watching, I was there on September, the number after 10, on 2001, when those buildings came down in New York City, those famous buildings. They were twins. I was a student. I was 19 years old. I was underneath those buildings when they got hit. So where am I going with all this? I forgot. My brain's fried. What I'm trying to say is, damn, I forgot what I was going to say, man. My brain's fried. Basically, I forgot what I was going to say, Dale Elliott. I just drew a blank there. I was going somewhere very important with this. But I don't even remember, man.
You're going to find
What was I
Watch.
talking about? What was I saying?
No, we were just talking about the differences, cultural differences, what we see versus when we come
perception
here. What
and
it
reality. So yeah,
like even for that, I can tell you.
Oh, so like half my people, they leave
Yeah.
because they don't have the opportunities there, and it's very poor. Like in Albania, if you're lucky, if you make $200 to $300 a month, okay, working 6 days a week,
Yeah.
I compare that to here, right? But what they don't take into account when they come over here is that you're going to work, but you're going to have no life. You see, in Albania, we drink coffee all day. We smoke cigarettes, hang out. And they live good because they have family outside that send money back. Western Union, MoneyGram. So I don't know if this sounds familiar to your people.
It is.
Everyone
It
probably
does.
has family in New York and they send their money back to Kingston, you know, or wherever they live. Because our people wouldn't be able to survive without outside, or what you call the diaspora, right? We're the diaspora.
Diaspora.
You are a diaspora, right? So, but it's saddening to me because 50% of the Albanian population lives outside of its ethnic borders. But in a couple of generations, they're not going to be Albanian no more because they're going to lose the language, the culture. You understand?
Yeah.
So what our enemies couldn't do to us in war, poverty is doing to us. Poverty is going to destroy us.
You think it's poverty or migration?
It's both. But now in the U.S., you know, as an American, right, because I was born here, I think it's dangerous to have open borders, right? But I don't think we should stop any immigrant from coming if they meet the criteria, meaning they should make sure they're just not a violent criminal where they come from.
Mm-hmm.
You put 10 years in, you become a citizen. My cousin wanted to become a citizen. Right now, she's on a Navy ship.
Mm-hmm.
She gave 3 years of her life to the U.S. Navy to become a citizen. So she gave something to get it, you know?
Yeah, a lot of people do that.
Yeah, I'm not saying, listen, I get it, and I think it's hypocritical for Americans to feel any anger towards these people. I understand the violent element. I understand the criminal element. I get that, and they should be screened, and we should know who's here. But I also think that this was the land of opportunity, and everyone's ancestor here was somebody somewhere else first. So we got to be fair to those people too. And let's be real, you live here too. Without immigrants, this country would collapse. We need them.
You know, I've only lived in the U.S. now for 6 years.
You think Americans want to do these jobs? They don't. It's like, so to me, don't group these old people like they're all bad. They're not. The overwhelming majority of migrants came here for a better life. It's not their fault that the previous administration just opened up the thing and said, okay, everybody come in. Because the way they did it was a little crazy. And there was a spike in crime in New York. I don't know about LA, but New York was bad, bro.
Oh, so yeah.
Yeah,
New
New York was
I don't
bad.
live over there,
New
so
York
I don't
was
know.
bad. New York was bad. Now you don't see them anywhere on the corners no more. But now you're seeing the other side. I'm seeing ICE everywhere, man, knocking on doors, looking for these people, hunting them down. I got friends that came to America as 1-year-olds. Where are they supposed to go? Oh, you came illegally, but I promise you, your ancestor 5 years ago, 50 years ago, 100 years ago came illegally too, probably. So, and a lot of Albanians came that way also, but the overwhelming majority, productive members of society. So I'm for the immigrant. I just think there should be some screening and a fair process to allow them to become citizens.
And I think...
And that's kind of where I'm at. I don't like open border, but I also don't want a closed border.
I think every immigrant thinks like that. And the overwhelming majority of immigrants are not criminals. You know?
Now, probably Billy Bob somewhere in Arkansas wants to take me out for saying it, but it is what it is. I mean, this country was built with these people, man. It is maintained with these people. And the average Latino, like, they're amazing, man. Like, the housekeeper where I stayed, the people working in these restaurants. I don't see Americans working these jobs. Do you see them? Very few. Maybe Starbucks, they get fancy people, you know. But
it's a fancy...
The college kids, the cool kids, the hipsters, you know.
Well, you know, immigration is not just a thing in America right now. It's a big topic in the UK. It's a big topic in Canada.
They don't want us Albanians. There's a lot of Jamaicans in the UK too, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of
they don't
Jamaicans.
want us in there either.
Big up people from the UK.
Shout out to the UK. Albanians and Jamaicans, they're probably going to run. The British government's like, oh my God, there's an alliance between the Albanians and the Jamaicans. God help us. Shout out to the Jamaicans and the Albanians, to my sheepies in Albania that are in London now.
I think majority of the people does have an issue with the violence that some.
So is that like, where's the biggest hub outside of Jamaica? Where's the most Jamaicans? Is it New York or London?
The most Jamaicans are probably in New York or Fort Lauderdale.
Fort Lauderdale.
So Florida or
they like
New
that
York.
nice weather, huh?
Yeah.
I like Fort Lauderdale.
Very
too.
similar. So the biggest populations of Jamaicans are in New York, Florida, Toronto, the
Toronto.
UK. Yeah.
Surviving up there, Jamaicans freezing to death? It's freezing up there, man.
There's work there. We will be there. If there's work, and Jamaicans travel a lot, because look, I'm going to Paris, Belgium, Brussels.
When's that? Did you do that part yet or no?
No, I'm starting next month. I'm going to Amsterdam, Rotterdam.
Oh, that's going to be awesome, man.
Belgium, Dublin. They're Jamaicans, these places. We're everywhere.
That's a nice tour, man. You're going to summer to Europe. It's going to be excellent tour.
It's going to be excellent expensive.
We got to get you to Albania too, man.
Super expensive.
We don't need the Jamaicans. We come support you.
Who will I perform to in Albania?
We come support you, man. I come do it with you. Maybe not this summer, next summer. Why not?
People might find it so hard to understand me.
I mean, what's his name was there? That big YouTuber. He liked it there.
Speed?
Yeah.
You know, it's recently that I've been making a real concerted effort to be understood by like everybody. My first,
like when you speak, you mean?
Yeah.
I understand you perfectly fine, but I'm sure maybe you're bringing it down a little bit.
Yeah, right now. Yeah, but I've been.
You're not calling me a butty bomb and stuff. I didn't even know what that meant.
No.
When I met you, I was like, "What the hell's a butty bomb?"
I didn't call him a butty bomb.
No, he didn't. But
I don't know what I call him.
I asked him.
It wasn't a
what
butty
is
bomb.
it? I remember what it was. I asked you, what is a word I can use for that, and then you taught me to it. So,
all right. Yeah.
And I'm gonna be honest with you. I've run into a few Jamaicans in the since I hung out with you.
Yeah.
I swear to God, I'm not lying. Okay?
Yeah.
And I would joke and I'd talk around us and I would say, I'm not the butty bum. And they would just start crying. How do you know that? I said, my friend Dale Elliott.
Yeah.
It's not that you were using the word, but I asked you, how do you say that?
I think you asked me what it meant.
No, I didn't. So did Pork Chop. Shout out to Pork Chop.
Big up
the
Pork
comedian.
Chop.
He looks like one, but so no, I'm joking. But so it was us, because why is it every time we want to learn a language, we want to learn the bad words first?
I feel like it's the easiest.
It's the same thing.
It's the easiest thing is learning the bad words is like, all right, no, I know what not to say. Like,
or maybe it's what you're supposed to say, because if I'm in a foreign country and I know how to curse in their language and somebody comes up to me, I want to look tough. I'd be like screaming at them, you know?
But it still sounds different. Like Spanish words, like everybody know, like, you know, puta madre.
Yeah, puta madre, coño.
So
Albanian to curse is very easy. Albanian bad words.
What's the Albanian bad word?
So car, you know, like a car?
Yeah.
It means what you have between your legs when it's up, when it's up in the air. Luci is a baby, what you have between your legs, baby penis.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. Chi, you know, like chi, like you would see in like Chinatown, chi this, chi that.
Yeah.
In the Albanian language, the word chi means to, you know, when a man and a woman, they do the thing. You know, with the F word.
It means to have sex.
It means that, but it also means like chi, like it's F-U.
Oh. It's like a bad word, like, hey.
So chi is like something good in like Asian culture. In Albania, it's like, you know, it's F word. So if someone says that chief shanon and no good. They're cursing your mother.
So for instance, like in Jamaica, so here, buddy means friend, right? Buddy don't mean friend in Jamaica.
No?
No.
What the hell does that mean?
We don't call each other buddy.
So because I say that word, so hey, bud, how you doing, buddy?
No, we're not. Hey, we're not buddies. That's what we're not.
So that's slang?
That's a slang.
Term
Buddies
for
is
two,
like what you say.
Two guys like this.
Car.
Two guys like this?
No, buddy is a car.
Same word?
Yeah, the car.
So that's your way of saying it?
Yeah, we say buddy.
Not body, buddy.
Buddy.
Like, hey, he's my buddy.
No! Okay. No!
So that's a curse word in Jamaica.
No, buddy's not a curse word.
So if I say that in Kingston, I'm not leaving Kingston alive, basically.
Buddy?
Yeah, I'm done.
No, you can leave Kingston, but just don't say buddy a certain way. You know? Like we're not buddies in Jamaica.
We're boys. Can we say boys? No. Friends.
We are friends. We're brethren.
Brethren. Okay.
Brethren.
That's a popular word to use?
Yeah. But you're not my buddy, and I'm not your buddy.
Now, if I said that, what would they think that means?
No, buddy just means one thing.
Okay.
A buddy means a penis in Jamaica.
So that's how you say it?
Yeah, a buddy means a penis. My
so
buddy is my buddy.
Can you use it just to understand in the terminology how you would use that?
Oh, I would say a girl.
Would you say Bek Lover is such a buddy?
Oh, no.
It means he's a dick.
No, would not say that.
Is that what it would mean, though?
No.
Is it used to insult someone?
No.
So that's weird.
It's like.
Because we use it to, you're a car, like THÉÄTRE. Like, we'll say, like, you're a dick.
Oh, no. We're not going to say you're a buddy. We're not saying that.
But do people use it like that?
No.
So then use it.
All right.
Give me an example. And that's not me.
Okay. You see, like, okay, in America or anywhere, somebody would be like, hey, I want you to sit on my.
Okay.
So in Jamaica, we'd be like, hey, to like a girl, hey, come sit down for me. Yeah, but we don't say you're such a buddy. We don't do that.
Okay, I get it. Because that word is universal in that language. I get it.
What, buddy?
No, I'm saying like in English they use it for a million different things. The actual word that we're talking about. Yeah, these are the funny because like you could be in a different country and not realize that a simple word that you use could be the most offensive thing to that people.
That's true.
Which is why you have to give slack to the tourist. Because when they're a stranger from a foreign land, they don't know that what they're doing is wrong. You can't just attack the tourists. I mean, some of them are crazy. Don't get me wrong, but overall, you have to give some slack to the tourists because they don't know your custom. Maybe it comes off disrespectful, but they don't know that it's disrespectful. You gotta have some mercy on the tourists.
Yeah, like breaking spaghetti in front of an Italian is like apparently mad disrespectful. To like break it. Yeah,
it's like the new way of cursing them out. I never seen it up until about a couple months ago because of fighting, MMA, and soccer. You watch soccer?
Yeah, I watch soccer. That's like the number one sport in Jamaica.
They love it, right?
Yeah, here not so much, but we watch. We call it football. You guys have
done okay in World Cups, no? You've done pretty decent, no?
Not really. We made it.
You're like Albania.
We made it to one World Cup, 1998.
But you qualified.
Yeah, in 1998. We're going to qualify this year, 2026.
God willing, man.
God's willing, we will.
Our problem is all our good players play for other teams in Albania.
Who's like the best Albanian?
He's Sachiri. He plays for Switzerland. He played for Switzerland. I think he tied the record for the most goals in the World Cup the last time around.
Oh, he was Albanian?
Yeah, Sachiri. They all play like Germany, Switzerland, because remember, I think the reason they don't play for the national team is there's a risk that they won't qualify and then they don't get to play at all, so they stay with where they live,
Yeah, a lot of people.
Switzerland, Germany, Italy, they have a lot of Albanian players.
Is Algeria far from Albania?
It's not crazy far, but it's not close because they're in Africa.
Where on the map is
It's north of Greece.
North of Greece.
And basically you're looking at it right there. It's right here.
Oh, perfectly. I am here.
It's over here. Look, no, it's that way.
Where?
It's over here in Europe. So we're right here. Where the little foot of Italy is. You see, we're right in this region. Basically, where the heel of the boot of Italy, you just go across the water to the east.
Yeah.
We're to the east of Italy, and we're north of Greece.
So it's kind of south of, like, South Europe.
It's Balkans. That's what it's called, the Balkans.
The Balkans.
A bunch of people that have been fighting each other for no reason forever.
Do you guys have history with the Vikings and stuff like that?
I don't know about the Vikings, but we're very ancient people, man. Our language is very old. Very, very old. And a lot of people have our DNA in Europe. We carry certain, I forgot what it's called, EV or something. Put in the comments if you're Albanian. This new study they did with the DNA. But in any event, I'm looking forward to seeing you in New York again.
Yeah, I'm going to be in New York in...
And you need to come on my show too, man.
Oh, once I'm there, I'm telling you, this is what I did. This is now my new adventure.
Maybe we go visit the Aki Way.
Where?
The guy that has that famous deli where they make the crazy sandwiches.
Oh, yes, definitely.
My friends are friends with him, and I think we're supposed to meet up with him. Maybe we go together to the Aki Way.
Aki Way.
I'll take a Jamaica. He makes a lot of sandwiches with the beef patties.
Yeah.
Jamaican beef patties.
And he uses a lot of oxtail too.
Yeah. Oxtail I learned from Jamaicans too. It's good dish, man.
Yeah, but this New York is so much like.
So what do you think about the food in New York, Jamaican style? Have you had any?
Yeah, it's better than here.
So we do a good job. Yeah, we do a good job in New York, man. We have so many amazing immigrants that have brought their culture, their food.
Exactly.
And then what's the most beautiful thing is like let's say a Jamaican marries like a Chinese lady, and then they clash the food together, and then something amazing comes from it.
Yeah.
Fusion. A lot of fusion in New York City.
But even the last time I was in New York, I was buying pizza from this Italian man, and apparently his wife is Jamaican, and she has a Jamaican daughter, and he like recognized me from somewhere. So he was like, "Oh, you
I see you on YouTube. I see you on Instagram.
You that fucking that Jamaican kid. My daughter, she's always on the phone." And he called his daughter and he's like, look who I have right here. And I'm like, yo, this is so cool to have that cultural fusion mix. And I think we're always going to have
Bet you his daughter was hot as hell too.
Yeah, like fire.
It's nice mixing, you know, the white with the dark.
Like fire.
White chocolate, dark chocolate, nice kids, you know.
pretty baby, them would I call it at Jamaica. But yeah, the food, there's in New York, in all of America, if you want cultural food that is good, universally.
You can get authentic and you can get modern version too.
Yeah.
You get both.
Yeah, you took me to a pizza place. That was a great pizza.
Do you remember which one it was?
When we left the comedy store, that the comedy strip, you
Comedy
brought me
strip,
to it was right before you took me over into Jersey. We did stop.
Was it Joe's Pizza?
I don't remember.
14th Street.
See, I don't.
Did I say this is a good slice? This is a good slice?
You was like, oh, this is one of the best.
Yeah, I wouldn't
pizza.
take it easy. No.
And it was
gosh.
late too.
Yeah, it's probably Joe's.
Yeah, it wasn't even early.
Well, there's other places too, bro.
Yeah, there's so much food in New York. But you said New York is not the same anymore. What do you mean by that? Because I've never seen it.
The buildings are the same, but the people seem sad. You know, since everything happened in 2019 when they closed us all down, everyone.
Yeah.
It's like we lost our soul, man.
New
it's
York?
like, yeah, it's the buildings are there. Even more buildings, right? Even bigger ones are there now. They built. But we've lost our essence as a city. It's like such a shift. It's very different now.
The people used to say to me that New York never closed and it used to pack
It did
at
close.
nights.
It did close. And we're not the city that doesn't sleep anymore. And you know, the young generation, they're not into the $500 for a bottle to go to a club. You know, everything is shifting in a very different way. A lot of those office buildings that were the epitome of New York, right? Like we're in a crisis because so many companies close their offices and people work from home that a lot of those office buildings are empty. And that's a lot of energy missing, right? That's a lot of synergy in business that's missing from New York City.
Especially if I have
and we lost, I don't know how many billionaires that moved to Miami. They all left. So it's a lot that's happened to our city, man. And it makes me sad. It makes me very sad.
Do you think it's because of the government? Or
of course.
What's the difference?
The difference is because corruption eventually destroys you, brother. We have a responsibility as citizens to keep an eye on these people, to stop the games they're playing with us. I don't believe in left and right, man. I believe in us, man. It's us, the common people, against these people. These people are sick, man. On both sides, man. On both sides, they do not care about you. And that couldn't be more evident. You know, people go, oh, he's right. I go, no, you're wrong. Oh, he's left. No, you're definitely wrong. I'm neither, man. I'm like, whatever makes common sense, man. There's no reason to be enemies fighting. People in America want to fight over if a kid should be able to chop off their penis or not. Let them chop it, man. Fuck it. You want to chop it? It's less competition for me and you, man. Shit. People have a problem with gay people. I go, no. I said, could you imagine if George Michael was straight? There would have been no women left on earth. Or Ricky Martin. Would have been no women left on earth. I can't dress like them, man. They were smooth. You had George Michael going, I could be your father figure. How am I going to compete against that, man?
Can't win. There's no winning.
Yeah. There's less competition, man. Every straight man should love gay people. Why? There's less competition, man. Shit. I can't dress like these motherfuckers, but they dress. You ever see how they dress? Amazing, sharp. Their hair is perfect. Me, I don't even have hair.
No, you have enough. You're not going bald.
You're going to have to go to Turkey, bro. Not as lucky as you, Dale. You got enough hair there to give to 20 Albanians that are going bald.
Well, it's just genes, right? I think.
Genetics, man.
Because no, I hear Turkey is the place for veneers.
And hair.
And hair.
You got to take Turkish hairlines together.
How much money is it?
$2,000-$3,000. You get your hair back.
That's it?
That's it, brother.
Oh, so.
Me and you could leave today.
Yeah. Get
there by tomorrow because it's another side of the world. Spend about 8 hours in a room. And in about 6 months, I'll have more hair than Justin Bieber. I'll be like this.
Because I see some people just go to Turkey. That's not your car.
We always got to ask in LA and New York. Is that your car? No. Something like that.
I feel.
How do you know it's not my car? You know how the alarm sounds?
Yeah, because I see the car. I know that that's not the kind of alarm.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. That's the beauty.
You got your car nice in the lot. If I knew you had a private lot back here, I would have parked mine off the street.
I mean, I said it. I was like, yo, hey, you could. But you was already there, so. Yeah, they're right at the exit.
So am I going to see you soon in New York?
Yeah, I'm coming to New York. I'm going to be in Jersey.
When?
In August.
I should be there.
Yeah, I'm going to be in Jersey in August.
I don't think I'm going to Europe until September.
Oh no, man.
I haven't been back home in 7 years, man.
Yeah, I haven't been back home in 6.
It's gonna be weird to get off that plane.
When you go back home?
You and me.
Oh, not for me.
No?
When I get home, stop,
But everybody knows you now.
buy some coconut and a jelly. But the thing is, people knew me before I left.
Okay, so you're already kind of becoming popular, right?
Yeah, so in Jamaica we don't like say popular. You know, we say well known or familiar face. Because so for instance, like Jamaica don't have like fans, Jamaicans, we have supporters.
Yeah, I don't like the word fan.
Yes,
and I don't like the word follower.
I don't like
I don't like. You should follow God. Don't follow.
Yeah, I like
I
supporters.
like supporter too.
Like so Jamaica, I will always be comfortable there. Somebody's like, oh yo, what's up, deal? There is not like here where you will get like mobbed. You see like how people from other races, they have to like have security and no, not in Jamaica. In Jamaica, this is why celebrities love Jamaica. Because when they come to Jamaica, they get to be normal. They can walk around. They can go on the resorts. Like, you can be the most famous person in the world.
Albania's kind of like that
and
too.
just walk around in Jamaica.
Kind of. Sometimes they can be a little bit, but for the most part, they leave the tourists alone. Doesn't matter if they're famous, not famous.
Yeah, Jamaica's going to be like, hi.
At the end of the day, we all eat, drink, shit, and we're going to die. Like, what is there to admire? I tell people, I don't know why you think I'm nothing, man.
That's what Jamaicans said too. We'll be like, yo, him shit just like me.
Yeah, I'm nothing, man. Nothing. I just chose a different path.
Not even, sometimes you never choose the path.
I agree too. I believe in, God's influence, predestination.
I always look at it as you never have a choice of when you were born.
Facts.
The color of your skin. That was not your choice. Your gender, none of that was your choice.
Yeah, that's what we said earlier. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then how you respond is up to you.
Yeah. What you do when you're here, it's all you. But you never have a choice. But I really enjoyed this conversation.
I did too. I hope we do it again, Dale.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's do it again. I'm
this
in LA
time I'll
a lot.
be on your platform.
So they can find me at Bek Lover, BEKLover.com. B like boy. Bek,
Yeah.
No C.
BEKLOVER.
Lover.com. Website's being revamped, but it's up. And on Instagram too, Bek Lover.
YouTube, Instagram. Trust me, this man says some very thought-provoking and riveting conversations. I must commend, he definitely censored a lot of the conversations that we have.
Yes, I did. I watered it down a little bit.
Yes, because I was explaining to him that, I always remember, Bek, I am a comedian.
We don't want to nuke your channel.
We can talk about things on surface level. But trust me, if you are interested in especially this kind of content.
Let's just tell them like this. One of my most famous lectures, God, Aliens, and the Demonic Realm, on the Danny Jones podcast. Danny Jones is one of the biggest podcasts in the level of Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan follows him, put it that way.
Exactly.
Okay, and we broke the internet there. But again, my overall mission, I want you to understand, is to unite people. It's not to make people hate each other. And I use my own pain because, again, I lost my family in war. And basically, I just tried to inspire people to do better. That's really my goal in life.
And trust me, people, this is a huge favor that he's done for me. And is different from what you guys used to. But trust me, when you go check out who this guy is,
you might have even seen me.
You guys are going to realize the magnitude of what I just accomplished a while ago. So people, if you're here, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Follow Bek Lover, and we'll be here with another episode again. So,
and on behalf of all the Albanians, I send love, warm wishes, and respect to the people of Jamaica.
And tell them one love, Albanians.
One love.
All right, respect.
One life. My dad loved that. That's all he listened to.